Okay, what we have here today is an old Bobcat M-500, and we're replacing the drive belt on a variable speed transmission. Got the variable speed lever here. It's got the new belt in, and it's a little bit tricky. So you got to take this cover off the side here. You got to disconnect this fitting and be very careful with this hydraulic fitting, because this end is supposed to be super expensive, and that's if you can find one. So we've got this bracket off here, and we've got the seat and the pan off, and what I had to do to get this belt on here is you slide this the engine pulley all the way out. You'll lose a little bit of fluid, you see, and then you take this block off that splits the shaft. There's a gap there. You put the belt through that shaft. You put it on the rear pulley first. Then you work your way on the top of the front pulley here. You'll want to loosen these 3 bolts here so that they're right at the end of their thread. You can see the shinier thread where the nut was. I loosened them up about 1/4 of an inch just to get everything I could. And what I did is I put a punch handle here in between. I used a pry bar to separate this pulley, and then I put the punch handle in there so that I could get more room here. That gives you the belt can sink lower, and it'll be easier to get run up that in between the pulleys. So after I got that started, it became pretty tough. So what I did is take here we go. Take a strap wrench, wrap it around this pulley here. Make sure you don't hit the grease erk, because you'll wreck your strap wrench probably. And you put your ratchet or your breaker bar on there, and you turn this like so, and it'll slowly work its way off, or slowly work its way on, excuse me. And while you do that, you got to watch where that punch sits, or whatever you stick in there to give it a gap. I'll see if I can squeeze this camera in here. You can see there's about a 3/4 inch gap in them pulleys. So the wider you can make that, the easier it's going to be to get this belt on. So once the belt is almost all the way on, you'll have to pull that punch out. And then when you do so, you just finish with your strap wrench, and it'll pop it. It'll finally pop right in, and it'll center itself. And then you'll have to put this lock block back on. You can see I've got about half of the bolts back in it. Make sure the keyway lines up. It should pop into place pretty easily, and then you'll want to make sure it gets put on there nice and square. Otherwise, then you just start your assembly, starting with those 3 nuts. It's a newer bolt, or a newer belt, excuse me. So you might not have to tighten them up quite as much. Something to look for on a new belt anyway. And then put your, of course, your seat pan back on, and your seat. And then you just have your little side bracket to put back on that protects everything. So I hope this video can help a few of you out. I know it was a little bit difficult to I wanted to verify before I dug into this project, just to make sure there wasn't some secret that I was missing. So I'd appreciate if you give me a like on the video, and good luck. Take care. God bless.